I remember Doug very well from when he started at Beaconsfield. We had gone through 2 LPGA tournaments. I think it was 1995 was the last one, and after each one of those 2, the other one before was I think in 1989, after each one of those tournaments, the course was just destroyed. And I don't know if it was because, they were cutting it too short, and in the summertime, this kind of grass doesn't take to that very well. But we went through a period where we really had quite a bit of issues with regards to the quality of the golf course after those tournaments. And when Doug arrived, you could almost see that he was going to put it back into great shape. And it didn't take him very long. For all the years that he was there, the course was immaculate. Everybody just loved it.
He really helped me out, I think, with some of the tournaments that I had here. I had a tournament called the Health Research Foundation that actually went on for 17 years. And a lot of those years were here at Beaconsfield while Doug was superintendent. And his help was incredible. And the reason for that is that this Health Research Foundation, which was a fundraiser, ended up being the second week of September, right after our club championship. Our club championship used to take place during the weekend of Labor Day. And the weekend after, actually the Tuesday after, it was that tournament, the Health Research Foundation. And setting up the course, I remember that he always had a problem with me because he needed to spike the fairways, spike the greens, and so on. So I would ask him politely to see whether he can wait an extra week so that my tournament would have that spiking of the, and he accommodated me every year. And that was fantastic.
Well, I had a lot of great experiences with Doug, mainly as a member here at Beaconsfield, but he always took an interest in the competitions and knew who was doing what, so was always one of the first to come and congratulate. If the congratulations were in order, he took an interest in the juniors, the ladies, and all various levels. But I guess, having some fun with Doug outside the golf club. He's loves his wine and a great memorabilia collector. He likes a glass of single malt or 2. And heard that he likes tequila in Mexico, so he's been making some trips down to Mexico. Not only alcohol related.
Yes, boy, we've had quite a few over the years, filling the pond on 16 and a good bottle of Constitution Road every now and then. But probably the best, I would say, is racing go-karts around Lemaitre. Club Link was our first sort of joint venture with them, and Jim Mullethouse was the VP of operations, was an amateur stock car driver, so he decided that we were going to rent go-karts and race around the kart pass prior to the course opening. So needless to say, we went off a few times. So thank God Doug and Jim were in charge of turf grass maintenance because they had a lot of repair work to do after we finished.
I first met Doug, I guess it was in the early 2000s when we hired him. I was on the board, and there were 3 of us that interviewed him. And Doug sort of fit the person we were looking for because, he had been a superintendent of Cedar Brook, and where it was all a POA course, which is what Beaconsfield is, and we were looking for somebody that was good in that field, but we also wanted somebody that could actually manage people, because growing grass, we can get a lot of people to grow grass, but we didn't have people that could actually manage people. That's what Doug brought to Beaconsfield.
I had an opportunity in 2009 to go on a golf trip in Scotland with another fellow member, Shep Abbey. He just called a greenskeeper. His name was Walter Woods, who was greenskeeper at St. Andrews. And all of a sudden, our whole golf itinerary was booked by Walter Woods. And not just St. Andrews, but some very difficult golf courses to get on. An example was Skibo Castle, where Madonna married Guy Ritchie. It was kind of interesting because we weren't allowed in at the main entrance. We had to go through the grounds crew entrance to get in.
but the treatment we got there was out of this world. We got on the first tee, we teed off, and all of a sudden this cart comes out. We had breakfast sandwiches prepared for us, coffee, Bailey's if you wanted in your coffee. It was just incredible. So, to be with Doug on these trips, you really realize how well respected the man was. It was incredible.
They had a lot of good times at Beaconsfield. We did renovation work over the years. And, the pond on 16 was a fun project. It was our 100th year anniversary, so we created the pond, and I think that night we filled it up finally. We were sitting there at 1 o'clock in the morning with a beer in our hands with our headlights on our cars, watching it finally fill up and having that project completed. So that was a fun moment for us, and we've definitely had a lot of good memories working at the club together and doing a lot of fun projects together.
The greatest personal experience I had with Doug was traveling to Scotland. He took Louis and I there about 14 years ago. We played all the top clubs and got to St. Andrews, which is one of his favorites. Had some good memories there in town. Some of the fabulous courses and some of the people that he met. Being at the various levels he was in as a superintendent in Canada, he had a tremendous respect from other superintendents, so they were welcoming us with open arms.
When I was on the board, we decided to we decided that we wouldn't use capital for course equipment any longer, and we decided to go to a lease program. So Doug was integral in dealing with Toro to get the best equipment over the lease period. So he really did his job there.
We're weekend players. I play with the same group that have been playing together for many, many years. And we always play early in the morning on weekends. And Doug would always come because the guys I play with, they always come for breakfast first. And they're always the first guys here at the club. Doug would always come in and say hello, and he was so nice about it. He would just out of respect, he would come in and say hello to us. And we were the only ones in the Buffalo room at the time. So that's a special memory. I never forget that. Every weekend he would come and say hello.
His work ethic is, to me, second to none. He was always here on Saturday or Sunday mornings to meet the members and talk with them to get their feedback on the course. And he always took great pride in the course itself.
Just the fact that he turned the golf course into such a magnificent course, always immaculately maintained, that speaks of his work ethic. He was always there. He was always touring and making sure that things were right and that there was no issues with how nice the course was being maintained.
I know for a fact that he used to get up really early in the morning, and he'd be here at the crack of dawn or even in the dark, looking after the golf course. His ways of making this course conditions exceptional, like we've never had before, was absolutely great on his part. I think the members really appreciate it, and I have to commend him on his excellent work at the club, because the members had really good times, and it showed every time we had a function. Everybody would mention how great the conditions of the course were. So we felt a lot of good, excellent collaboration from him, and I think he was very close to the members, asking them often how they thought the course was, the improvements that it needed, and so on and so forth. And I think he came through.
He really worked hard. He took his job seriously. He was very well respected. I have a good respect for him. He not only had the forces of Mother Nature that he had to deal with, but the format that the golf club had that he would answer to the president. And having served on the board, I saw him rotate bosses every 2 years. So that was always a different character you had to answer to. You'd have 400 or 500 experts on agronomy wondering why the greens were so fast or why they wouldn't why they couldn't speed up a little bit.
Well, the interesting part about Doug is that he brought some structure to managing the superintendent's area. I mean, let's face it, that's a major expense for the golf club. Probably at least a third, if not more, of the total cost of running a golf club. So a lot of money, and it needed to be managed. He brought structure to it. He did all the budgets. He watched all of the money going in and out. So I was treasurer for a couple of years, so I appreciated his staying right on top of things. And we brought in a new Rainbird system, so he was able to put into a schedule and automate that function. So he did a lot of good work that way. And we became an Audubon club. Yeah. And he looked after it that way, and his wife Lynn worked very hard on that area as well.
Well, I think during his time here, what we did is we did a lot of improvements. First of all, we extended the balcony on the 18th. We also did the pond on 16, which now is becoming like one of the most beautiful holes we have here at Beaconsfield. And he was instrumental in that with Darrell Huxham, who was the architect at the time, and his involvement in it. And I think his experience in the past with Fontainebleau and with Lemaitre building them for Club Link was a great asset to us, because he really did a lot of things at the club that really stand out. And they, up until today, they still stand out. So I think those accomplishments were special to me and special to the club and special to the members.
One big project that comes to mind is the wall on 2 holes called the Gap, and over the years the rock's overgrown and deteriorated, so he took it upon himself to relay the wall stone by stone with his maintenance crew and within his own operating budget, and that really restored the hole to what you see today, which is one of our feature holes on the golf course. So that, plus opening the quarry up behind 15, left of 15, behind 9 green, and the rock exposed on 11. That was all something that he did on his own initiative, and just goes to a testament to his work ethic and always wanting to be proud of where he is and what he's accomplished.
Canadian Amateur being the 100th anniversary of the Canadian Amateur that took place here during our centennial, our 100th anniversary of Beaconsfield. And that was exciting, it was historical, it was memorable, and it was one of the greatest parties that we've ever had here because of the centennial that we were celebrating. And I think his achievement was that he rendered this golf course for that tournament to one of the most best conditions that I've ever seen on a golf course.
Opening up the mountain on the 11th hole, that was his idea, because we do have the plateau, and this was a former mining area, if you will, so he did bring some of that back.
Doug, I just want to say congratulations on a great career in golf, and wish you all the best in your retirement. Happiness, health, enjoy your family, as I know you do, and we'll see you on the first tee.
Hi, Doug. I just want to take this opportunity to congratulate you on a very long and distinguished career, and I want to wish you all the best in your retirement years. I'm sure you won't miss getting up at 5 a.m. and for sure the stress of those Pythium skiers and high humidity and temperature. All the best, and look forward to spending time with you.
Doug, I told you to retire, so it's about time, and live a long, happy life in retirement.
So Doug, with the 25 years that you've spent here at Beaconsfield, creating a great golf course for us and making sure the conditions were up to par for everybody's criticism and everybody's pleasure, I really wish you the best enjoyment that you can have here at Beaconsfield in playing this course and enjoying what you've created. And hopefully we'll get a game or two together that we can talk about the past and look forward towards the future. So enjoy your game and enjoy retirement, Doug.
Doug, You were a great guy. We miss you like crazy, at least the group that I play with. And we really, really wish that you are going to have a great retirement. And hopefully we're going to see you a little bit more often on this course playing golf. So that's my wish for you, Doug. And congratulations on doing what you did. And we all loved you for it.
Doug, you had a wonderful career. I'm really proud of you, bud. And just want to say welcome to Beaconsfield as a member now, and it's well deserved. I can't wait to play with you. Take care, buddy.